Microtransactions are becoming, well, maybe becoming is the wrong word, have become. They're no longer they're just transactions. But they're still known as microtransactions for whatever reason. And pointing out that contradiction is fun. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, the 10 world's most expensive microtransactions. So before we get started, let's lay down some ground rules on this one. Trying to qualify what a microtransaction is pretty much impossible on account, well, exactly what I said in the beginning. Some of these things can actually cost more than your monthly rent. But again, we got to limit our scope. So what I'm doing here, I'm sticking to actual transactions between you, the player, and the developers or the publisher. There's no aftermarket stuff, no marketplace items, no stuff where the item is more of a digital good that can be traded anywhere rather than a straight up purchase. So none of the crazy overinflated digital land deals, no trading skins on any marketplaces, nothing that you could delude yourself into thinking is an investment of some kind. Even if you stretch the word microtransaction past the point of coherence to millions of bucks getting thrown around for pretend property, it's not what we're talking about here. At number 10, we've got the Beast Glove from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The prices on COD stuff has just been out of control for a while now. There's a lot of overpriced weapon skin bundles, ton of cosmetic crossover crap. If you want an idea about just how greedy this whole thing has gotten, look no further than the Beast Glove, a tie-in melee cosmetic for the Godzilla vs. Kong movie that came out last year for Modern Warfare 3. It's one of those cosmetics you can't just buy. Of course not. That would be too easy. Instead, you have to buy 4 bundles in the Titan collection, and then you can get this cosmetic, which doesn't even do anything. It has one new animation that plays when you inspect the weapon with it equipped, but other than that, everything's exactly the same as the generic animations. But how much does it cost in total? Well, 2,400 points, which is exactly $19.98. So all 4 of these combined is $79.96 just to unlock this one cosmetic item. So yeah, you do get the other stuff in the bundles too, but if you want the gloves, you have to buy 4 bundles. While we're talking Call of Duty, might as well bring up this other overpriced skin. This time for Black Ops 6, there's a special weapon camo called Gold Lightning, which can only be obtained by purchasing the Wonder Weapon replica from the Call of Duty store for $350, not counting taxes and shipping costs. This doesn't exactly count. The camo is really more of a bonus you get alongside a real physical item, but $350 is for a crappy plastic replica of a toy gun and not for the skin. Fine, I get it. But if you're a freak and you have to have every skin in a Call of Duty game, then, well, that's what that costs. At number 9 is the Mercedes W196R55 from Gran Turismo 7. For as much as Gran Turismo 7 has improved since its original launch, the game is still absolutely stuffed with overpriced cars that frankly require an absurd amount of grinding to unlock. It's just that in comparison to how it used to be, you could at least conceivably earn enough CR to unlock stuff. It's not completely unobtainable, just mostly. The most expensive vehicles in the game are in the Legends category, and the newest and most expensive car of all of them is the W196R55. An expensive car, in fact, the most expensive a car can get in the game, 20 million CR or $200 fiat currency if you're buying currency. $200 for a digital car that in previous Gran Turismo games you could just unlock by, just playing them. It's not even the only 20 million CR car in the game. There are at least 2 more, and there are plenty more Legends cars that are just extremely expensive. Maybe not $200 expensive, but too much. $200 is not where too much starts for a car in a game. Yes, the game does give you a decent amount of CR just by playing, but at time of writing, if you look at the Legends store, it would cost 107 million CR to unlock everything in here. 20 million's bad enough, but multiply that times 5. If you're a serious collector, you're going to have to burn some money eventually, at least if you do anything else during your waking hours at times. Yes, you can earn it, but that doesn't mean it's cheap. Time is also money, to be frank. You're going to have to sacrifice time or cash, and in the amount of time that you would have to sacrifice, it does cut into your actual cold hard cash earnings potential on a you only have so many hours in a day basis. And number 8 is Heirlooms from Apex Legends, a solidly fun shooter still. But man, the monetization is out of control at this point. The usual caveats apply. It's all optional. It's just cosmetics, blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't mean the prices aren't out of control. It used to be the most expensive items in the game were heirlooms, these special melee cosmetics meant for specific legends. They cost, and I kid you not, $160 on average. Yeah, For real. Like, we're very removed from horse armor here. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say. That's an absurd price for a melee weapon skin. They should give you a real weapon for that price. The economics are they're totally cracked. At number 7 is Universal Heirlooms from Apex Legends. Oh, you thought we were going to talk that little about that? No, it gets worse. In 2024, they introduced a new Universal Heirloom called the Cobalt Qatar. Any character can use it. You'd think making it universal would make this particular item more accessible, but it's the exact opposite. Somehow, it's more expensive and more difficult to obtain than the standard ones. It is a less exclusive item, statistically speaking, but you have to earn it through buying event packs. You can't just buy it outright in a store. You think the economy works like that? Like you give someone money and you get something for it? No, you actually have to buy a bunch of other things, and then you get the Cobalt Qatar. Everything else, in fact. Everything else. It's possible, at least theoretically, to unlock the Qatar before that, but the chances are astronomically low. It's a 1% chance, so you're not going to get it. You're going to have to buy all the packs. The game magnanimously grants you all of one free pack, but the rest you have to get yourself. In total, that's going to cost 29,500 coins. Sounds like a lot, right? Now, a B word comes next, and it's not but, it's because it is. The most Apex coins you can get at once is through the $100 bundle, which gets you 11,500 coins. So if you just want the Qatar outright, it's going to cost a little less than $300. Yeah, you're getting all the other event items too, so it's not like the Universal Heirloom is all you're paying for. But if you want that thing, you are going to have to pay up. There are ways to make this cheaper. You can use crafting metals to make packs, but making just one pack costs 1650 crafting metals, so a normal person playing the game isn't going to be saving that much money there. Really, the only way to get the heirloom in any practical sense is to just pay up. And remember, it's a limited time offer, so you don't want to miss out, do you? At number 6 is the Flying Spectral Tiger in World of Warcraft. Early 2024, there's a big brouhaha about a mount called the Trader's Gilded Brutosaur that had pretty handy abilities to call up the auction house, access your mailbox from anywhere in the world, blah, blah, blah. It was, as these things are increasingly going, ridiculously expensive, $90 for a single mount. Everyone was pissed. The people who are mad for the perceived pay-to-win aspects of it, which, let's be fair, it's kind of that. But also the owners of the original Brutosaur mount who were angry that they dropped their dimes on the original, but they didn't get any of the handy features of the new one. Folks were not happy, but the cost of that thing was nothing compared to what was going on in the Chinese servers of NetEase. They released the most expensive mount in the game to date with the Flying Spectral Tiger mount, which was just the already rare and expensive Spectral Tiger, only now it flies. That'll be 1,888 won, or 265 American dollars, please, for the exact same mount that already exists, only it flies now. No, they didn't add wings or change the animation. It's literally the same mount, only now it awkwardly runs through the air like you broke the game and no clip ensued. It is outrageous to charge that much for this. I mean, it's all worthless. It's all digital garbage. None of it has any real-world value inherently. But if they're going to charge those kinds of prices, they should at least, I don't know, make something new. Is that really that hard to ask? At number 5 is the signature immortalized legend Ahri from League of Legends. In 2024, Riot Games introduced the Hall of Legends, ostensibly meant to showcase their best esports players. That's how they're presenting it, but the real focus here is making money with one of the most overpriced things I've ever seen. What sounds like a nice commemorative thing devolved into pure unchecked avarice. I mean, just look at the price tag on this. There's 3 collections, each more needlessly expensive than the last. There's the Risen Legend collection, the Immortalized Legend collection, and the Piece de Resistance, the signature Immortalized Legend collection, with the price points almost as long as its name. This thing costs 59,260 Riot points, which, first of all, why not just make it an even 60? At this point, what's stopping you? That's absurd. I see that number and I see 60,000 in my head. And don't go thinking Riot points are cheap. They are not. All told, this bundle, at its absolute cheapest, is going to cost a little less than $450. That's after buying 4 $100 Riot point bundles and 150. Doing that pushes you just over the edge into affording it. Maybe they made the number more confusing so they'd be able to sucker whales into dumping $500 into it, but I don't know. I wouldn't put that past them. But there's nothing left to say at this point. $450 for some skins and effects and augments you can barely even see that aren't that flashy. Not that making any of this stuff good would matter. It's crazy overpriced no matter how you look at it. Obviously, there is a market for this stuff. Otherwise, these companies wouldn't be selling them. But man, $500 for a digital cosmetics bundle. Nuts. That's nuts. Waste of money. Huge waste of money. Oh, and it's also meant to celebrate some League player named Faker, but that doesn't matter at this point. And number 4 is Violent Valkyrie in Roblox. This game is kind of its own little world, insulated from the rest of the gaming community. It's probably how it's able to pull off crap like this. I'm not even going to get into the marketplace. Like, prices on stuff there, it's just completely out of control. But that's all player economy-driven stuff, and a lot of it's total BS in terms of prices. Just nonsense going on there. But for this entry, I'm going to stick with the fixed price things in the Roblox catalog. In terms of persistent, non-limited items in the catalog, the Violent Valkyrie is the most expensive, costing 50,000 Robux. Okay, before I tell you how much this costs in real-world dollars, look at this thing. Like, oof, it's a tragic lump of polygons that a child could whip up in Blender in an afternoon. But if you want to buy one in Roblox, it's going to cost you, and I'm not joking, $625. That's not the worst of it. The most expensive limited item I was able to find is this hood called the Dominus Astra. So if you wanted to look like Fisher-Price Tyrell from Diablo 2, it would cost 75,000 Robux, or about 938 regular bucks, nearly $1,000. The saddest thing about it isn't even the price. It's sold out within seconds of going up for sale. This crappy black lump of polygons wasn't something that people just wanted. They really wanted it. And it sold at auction for even more. $50,000. Regular dollars, not row dollars, which hurts. It hurts me. And number 3 is the Ruler of Rayclast in Path of Exile. As much as I like and respect Path of Exile's free-to-play model, in all seriousness, it's pretty fair about how much you have to involve yourself in anything that costs money, which is none. But the store prices are a bit much. Like $30 for an armor set, kind of extreme. But to their credit, they don't sugarcoat it or obfuscate exactly what you're actually paying. The price is the price, and they're honest about what it is and what you're getting. Not that it exactly excuses these kinds of prices and worthless in-game crap, but it could be a lot worse. For example, the Ruler of Rayclast pack is really stretching the definition of microtransaction about as far as it can possibly go, in fact. So if you don't know, during the open beta of Path of Exile, Grinding Gear Games offered a store item called the Ruler of Rayclast pack, which cost, and I am dead serious here, $12,500. Yes, that is seriously how much it costs. What do you get for dropping a down payment on a house? Maybe not a particularly large house, but a house. Oh, a forum title and an extended digital soundtrack, and your name goes into the credits. And a custom forum account avatar. Yay, exciting. And exactly the same as the Eternal pack, which was about 90% cheaper you have to understand how strong the scare quotes are here on this word. Only $1,500. The only major difference with the Ruler pack is you get to design your own monster, which is admittedly pretty cool, but for $12,500? Not that cool. Like, for that price, you should be, like, introducing me to my future spouse or something. It's goddamn ridiculous. Like, at this price point, you might as well be an investor in the studio. Like, then you could at least earn some value while supporting them. If you're throwing around $10,000, I feel like you should get a little more out of it. What's really surprising is that some people actually bought it. There were at least 3 people confirmed to have bought the pack, which is, I think 3 more than I expected, but at this point, I guess my expectations are wrong. There are rich people out there that just mindlessly buy rich people things. And number 2 is the Legatus ship pack in Star Citizen. Maybe Scar Citizen is actually the appropriate way to say it, because these prices cut. You know Star Citizen, specifically for this reason too. The Legatus ship pack is essentially an all-in bundled deal where you can buy every revealed ship available for purchase in Star Citizen. Some of the ships on the market are actual real digital objects that you can use in the game now, but even now, 12 plus years into development, the vast majority of the ships for sale are still, as pretty much every single person who talks about Star Citizen has said, JPEGs. They are pictures, they are concept art with some flavor text, and it's $48,000. It is essentially an IOU, a promise that eventually, someday, you will get to enjoy all these fancy ships that are definitely getting made. We swear, for 12 years, it's a promise. Some of these ships are just ridiculous, too, promising pie-in-the-sky features that are nowhere close to being in the final game, like the Pioneer, a construction ship that is for creating modular planetary structures. So they're locking the entire base building mechanic behind an expensive ship. Fun. Like it. Cool. The whole deal with crews is up in the air, too. There's supposed to be 4 to 8 people manning this ship. In a game where there's still no crew systems or functions in any of the regular ships, how's that going to work in the final game? Is there going to be a final game? I don't know. Like, is it going to literally be a 50-year development? Is that development hell, or is that development heaven for these lunatics selling $48,000 microtransactions? Or hey, check out this space vessel, the Endeavor. Literally everything in its specifications list is to be determined. As in, they don't even know what it's gonna be able to do. Be excited. Please, be excited. At least with everything else on this list, you know what you're getting. But with this, it's all just shrugs and promises. Like, oh man, it'll be so cool when it's finished, bro. Just you wait. Call me crazy, but for $48,000, that's not enough. That's not enough. And at number 1, the Diamond Chisel in Curiosity, 50,000 pounds. That's how much the most expensive pick in Curiosity, what's inside the cube, costs. At the 1.6 exchange rate back in 2012, that would be about $80,000 American. Nowadays, it's back down to around $61,000, but let's be serious. That's insane one way or the other. I mean, everything about this game is just shameless. It's a big cube that hundreds of users would simultaneously chip away at in a race to be the first one to complete it, because whoever won would get a quote-unquote life-changing prize, or nothing, because if there's one constant in Peter Molyneux, it's crushing disappointment. Imagine if somebody actually bought this stupid thing, won the game, and then got treated like an actual winner, which was basically ignored, which was supposed to get a cut of the GOTUS profits, but sorry, we didn't make a profit, so no money. No, you can't look at the finances, just trust us, okay? $80,000 back then to make more little squares go away. If it's any consolidation, I'm pretty sure nobody ever bought it. So what's Peter's excuse for such a worthlessly absurd, overpriced microtransaction? Well, he said this is not a money-making exercise. It's a test about the psychology of monetization. Oh, thank God. I thought you were just really greedy. But now I see it was a test. It's an experiment. And we passed by not giving you $80,000. It's like telling a joke that's very obviously unfunny to the vast majority of people and saying, it wasn't meant to be funny. All right, you're not fooling anybody.